Meditate and Chill is designed to show you your magic. Magic is so simple. It's literally the basics, the foundation of all things: earth, air, fire, and water. The elements that describe our environment, from what we can't see to what can we can touch and feel, to what can burn us, what can be destructive and cause death and decay. The foundation of reality is based on very simple principles, basic fundamental properties. We're made out of water, guys. This physical body we have is literally comprised of water. How is that? How are we just like so physical, yet we're made up of water? Water is so interesting, isn't it? It's so fluid. It flows and fills and creates and forms life and strange crevices of the fabric of reality. Sound, smoke, air, oxygen. Another element that we cannot identify as easily as we can the ground beneath us, which is why it's so much easier to believe in the physical world when we're lost. We're lost in space and time. Everything about magic has to do with the purity of who we are, just being raw and real and natural and free, not being disconnected from the earth, putting your physical feet on the ground, being dirty, not being so concerned with how the environment perceives you, but instead being like the water, being fluid to the environment as it comes at you. We're very magical beings, and magical beings don't necessarily look at magic as spectacular, as in a fantastical idea, like beyond conception, right? That's just because we're perceiving it that way because we're so lost in the tangible and physical construction of reality that we've created. Shout out to my niece for my mug. We come from the darkness. We come from the vast expansion of space that, if you look up at the night sky, is full of darkness. I believe it's something of over 80% of reality is unmeasurable, unknown dark matter or dark energy in general that we don't know why it's there or how it interacts with the 20% that we can perceive. Those figures are not perfect. Those are just, the way that I've interpreted information, which was passed on by man. We can't always believe in what information is passed on by man's word, by word of mouth, because that is someone's opinion, someone's perspective on their interpretation of data. We all are our own quantum computers. We all can quantify information. We can calculate and perceive and rationalize things. But the issue that I've noticed, that I've encountered in my life, is we over-rationalize. We over-analyze. We're too critical. We're too analytical. Most people can't identify passion and creativity and joy, music, their music abilities. Not necessarily, oh, I like this artist. This is my favorite artist. But what's your favorite instrument that you can play, or what's your artistic ability? What do you like to create? most people, as in like over 80%, isn't that interesting? These figures like make a lot of sense. We don't understand 80% of the universe because 80% of the population doesn't know who they are. Like, it's just, there's something there. There's something there. Sound is such an misunderstood tool. For example, this instrument, this element here, it's a crystal bowl, right? It creates a sound, a frequency that is designed to align with your root chakra. It's supposed to hit a certain frequency that it helps clear out any blockages, any energetic clogs that you may have, so that you can tap into yourself and be in alignment and access higher frequencies, so you can vibrate higher and experience more of reality, interacting with more of reality. And it's crazy because sound is what we go to. Like, most people that I've ever had a conversation with about meditation or trying to relax or just chill, it's always, do I have these upside down? It's always, oh, well, I listen to music to escape, or that came in backwards. That's really weird. It's okay. Music is sound, right? It's literally sound. There's some interesting study information out there that we can look into on like the hertz, for example, like 432 hertz and certain frequencies and vibrations that the powers that be have information and knowledge about sound frequency, as in like weaponized sound. Or because that's the thing, like weaponizing sound is just so strange. Like, we're so war minded, we're so like black and white. The interesting thing about black and white, I promise this will all tie in because everything's connected, and this is a flow. Like, follow it like a string of putting on beads on a string. Black and white can't exist without one another. And we perceive black and white as opposing forces that need to battle to win. One side has to win. Like, that's our brain's way of saying, this is what black and white means. Like, literally our brain, when we see black and white, we think of it as a battle, a duel. Like, let's go against, let's fight. In any game, in any concept that we have around those two colors, is just so strange. When they're actually like brother and sister, they're more like, I do this, you do that. We're partners. You're this area, you're logical, linear, and rational. I'm creative, musical, and I like to dance. We should be able to bring these energies together, but instead we fear what we don't understand. And we fear what we don't understand because we're not taught at a young age confidence and belief in ourselves. We're more so taught how to believe what we're told, and that's not right. It's like a social norm to desire to fit in rather than to be yourself within. You know what I'm saying? Like, why have we structured the world this way? Our spirits want to dance. They want to play. They want to have fun. Enjoy life. Not live in constant caution. How many times are we going to tell ourselves, well, one day I'm going to do this, or in 10 years, in 5 years, in 20 years, we think in this way that causes our spirits to sadden, to cry, to go within, to go into depression and dark. These that's where that polarity comes in, is because we come into the world as the light that wants to express and experience and live, and then we just get suppressed and pushed within. This oppression occurs, and we truly, literally forget who we are. At a certain age, we are so beaten down, so heartbroken, so stabbed in the back, so cut deep. So much pain has been shoved down within us that we cannot even fight. We don't know how to fight anymore. We don't know what's right. We don't know what's wrong, because again, as I've stated many times, we are living in a hallucination. And when we start to come to the realization of that, and most people don't tell us that there's a hallucination happening, a collective hallucination, it's fearful. It's scary. It's like, well, I must need to fit in then. Maybe I should just fit in. Maybe I should just get along with everyone in this hallucination, because it's like walking into a situation where you're the outcast. Like, say you walk into, I don't like to use race, but honestly, this is the thought that comes to my head. But imagine like a black person walking into a KKK rally. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, how do you fit in this moment? Because you are now the target. And that's what happens, is society is full of bullies. And it's so frustrating to me that we're saying that people are getting softer. We're saying people need to toughen up and get this thick skin, that millennials and the generations coming up are weak. And, the thing is, the generations coming up, the softies, the empathic, compassionate souls that are coming up, not wanting to fight and bicker and argue about polarity and duality and black and white and politics, all this division makes no sense to the soul that can empathize and sympathize with all people, all spirits, all heartbeats. There's no reason to fight. And these softies coming up, and many that are older as well, I'm in the generation of millennials, and I'm highly empathetic, highly compassionate, highly sensitive. And that's not a bad quality. It's what the world needs, because we're not meant to be so tough. That is for war, and that is for defense and survival. From my understanding, since the day I was born, except for when it comes to like emotional or mental, physically, as a first world, like an American human, I haven't had much survival or physical need to go to war with anything. Now, mentally and my imagination, my creativity, my passion, my heart, my joy, my laughter, my emotions, of course, I feel that there's an attack on those, and I've had to create defenses against the world. But truly, there's rare cases. When it comes to percentages, as a collective, we are getting rid of the mentality of war. It's not to say that if something's has happened to you, that your story is invalid, that your experience didn't happen, and that you don't have the right to feel some type of way, because I'm not here to judge or to say that I have any, I don't have that. That's your life, that's your experience, that's your path, that's your journey. But the souls that are coming up that are soft, that's the word I hear. We're not doomed because we have a bigger heart. The world needs love. The world needs compassion and people that are gentle and kind and sweet. If we want to live in fear, the mentality of war and violence can continue. But if we want to live in a space of love, then it's time to recognize, why are we fighting? Why is there such a battle happening within us? What are we fighting? Truly, like, why do we wake up ready to battle, to argue, bicker, and create this friction? I feel there's a nice balance. I think it's fun to have like back and forth banter and comedy and certain levels of competition, right? Competitiveness. But are we competing with other people, or are we competing with ourselves? Because if we're competing with other people, there is no competition. That's just ego trying to take a moment to say, I'm better than you, or to keep your knife sharp. Iron sharpens iron. But to a degree, most of the time, we should be competing with ourselves, because that gives us the opportunity to be better than who we were yesterday, to become who we want to be. If we're constantly trying to become our future selves that we envision ourselves to be. That is the nature of us. At the basic level, we have the ability to tap into the elements and utilize these tools available to us. Take a moment. Take a moment and breathe. Access your air. The element of air is, so it's the vitality, it's how we flow through the day. It's how our water, think about it, we're physically water condensed or dense enough to become a physical matter that is heavy enough due to gravity and mixed with earth elements with a little bit of warmth, which makes me think of fire and passion. The passion, the fire, the soul that moves through the air every single day. Like, it's absolutely fascinating how powerful we are on just such a basic level, underneath it all, behind every single mask, every single filter that we've created. We're so powerful, and there's so much mechanically happening within us. We take it for granted. We don't recognize the luxury and the simplicity. Got a double 3 here. We got a double 3 here. And then we've got 3 beings looking up at the sky. This is symbolizing coming together in our trauma, coming together in our differences, recognizing the pain of the world, that the literal world, the cosmos, the collective, my dog, the collective us is crying out, trying to purge out these toxic ways, these masculine dominant ways. Because within us all, our masculine is expressing its desire for its feminine. Because the masculine is at a chase for its feminine. And what's happening is, deep down, the masculine energy just wants to hold its feminine and embrace and be the warmth. And she's so far gone because he beat her down. He, as in, not a man, as in the energy. The energy beat down the feminine energy so badly that she's so dormant. She's asleep. She's so in there. Like, I'm sorry, guys. This is emotional. I can do this. Inside of us all, we're trying to be in tune with ourselves at the core of who we are, so we can be in balance with these two energies. The masculine and the feminine want to coexist and work together. That black and white polarity, that separation, that magnetism, it's trying to be balanced. It's trying to have the world come together. All people, all of us to see that the answer is love. The answer is community, sharing, harmony, balance, unconditional, guys. This unconditional love is a bitch, isn't it? It's like, it's so powerful. Think of anyone or something that you love unconditionally. Most likely a person or a breathing heart, something with a breath and a heartbeat. Think of that love, that depth. Imagine if humanity had that for life, like just existing, just experiencing life, having the respect, being taught at a young age what it meant to respect life, to understand that the rock that you step on, the stick that you break from a tree, the food that you eat from the earth, the animals that walk on it, the water in the ocean, as the moon came out, double moon, like, so the moon came out to clarify the moon. Look at this. So the moon comes out to clarify the moon, because we are so unaware of this. We're so unaware of this. So we got 3-3, moon, moon. This is our instincts and conflict colliding with our learned behaviors, our domesticated ways. We're so far from this. We're drowning. And this is that masculine energy coming back to speak. The masculine energy is so overwhelmed and stuck in its pride and ego to the point where it's ready to throw in that white flag. It doesn't want to fight anymore. It doesn't want to resist its feminine because it loves unconditionally its feminine. It's lost sight of that. It's forgotten how much it needs her. Because of the dust. Oh, okay. You saw that little jump. The world is clarified by judgment. So we're going from 3 to 18 to 20 to 21. There's such an awakening happening. There's such a knowing, a wisdom coming to the surface. I'm so grateful for COVID, because before COVID, the experience, collectively for humanity, as it has caused some destruction for sure. It has caused so much life, because a volcano seems very destructive, as if, maybe we just should rid the world of volcanoes, or maybe volcanoes shouldn't exist, right? No, they're quite literally important to the earth. They flow lava, and then they create the most pure substance for growth to happen on this planet. Lava and death and decay, things being forced, into an energy that Jupiter and Saturn, 0 degrees in Aquarius, we had about a year ago. A year ago. Yeah, it was a year ago. It's December 21st, I believe, 2020. Somewhere around there. Now we're a year later. This is the resurrection, guys. Wow. We're being resurrected. That's deep. Thanks for that one. That was deep.